We then learned that Israel actually released video footage of what took place on October 7th. That video footage was widely circulated on social media earlier this week, and it showed that Israeli Apache attack helicopters, financed, by the way, by U.S. taxpayers, were indiscriminately firing at anything that moved on the ground around the border of Gaza and Israel, where the breakthrough initially occurred. As you can see in this video, cars, individuals running that don't appear to be terrorists. I mean, these are people wearing what are definitively not the Adidas-clad uniforms or Hamas uniforms that we all know so well. These are people in like white T-shirts and women you can see running about. These are individuals who were targeted in the Apache attack helicopter strikes. At this point, I think it became quite clear to everyone that what happened on October 7th is not what we were led to believe. And that's okay. People get things wrong. But what I have a problem with is when governments and the entire mainstream media apparatus continue to go along with absurd lies and use those lies to justify, again, a genocide in Gaza at this very moment, okay? Now, in a dark and twisted but unexpected turn of events, today we learned something new. Haaretz has come out with a new report which indicates, per an official Israeli statement, that Israeli helicopters were responsible for murdering Israeli civilians at the Nova Music Festival on October 7th. Let's take a look. This is from Haaretz. Again, Israeli media, as you can see here, okay? Quote, "There's a growing assessment in the security establishment that the terrorists who carried out the massacre on October 7th did not know in advance about the Nova Festival held in the Kibbutz Raim and decided to come to the place after discovering that a mass event was taking place there. The security systems assessment relies, among other things, on the investigation of the terrorists and the investigation of the incident by the police, from which it appears that the terrorists intended to reach the Kibbutz Raim and nearby kibbutzim." Now, this is the important part. According to a police source, an investigation into the incident also revealed that an IDF, an Israeli Defense Forces combatant helicopter that arrived at the scene from the Ramat David base fired at the terrorists and apparently also hit some of the revelers who were there. According to the police, 364 people were killed at the festival. So there you have it. You have Israeli media citing a source from within the Israeli police investigatory team that investigated the Al-Aqsa flood and what took place on October 7th, admitting for the first time publicly that it was actually an Apache attack helicopter guided by the Israelis, because, of course, Hamas does not have an air force, let alone an Apache attack helicopter, who was responsible for burning and killing and murdering those civilians on October 7th. Not surprising to those of us that can deduce, what may have been responsible for the burnt cars, burnt homes, and burnt civilians on that fateful day. But I guess surprising for a lot of Zionists who fell hook, line, and sinker for every lie that the Israeli media put out and the Israeli government put out, and that the mainstream media echoed in the UK and in the United States and elsewhere.